Good morning, everybody. It is 8:15 a.m. It is May 10th. Big day. Big day. CPI today. Um, this market was waiting for it yesterday. It didn't do a midday update yesterday. There really wasn't much going on. That range was so small. I think it was a 13-point range in the futures. Finally waited for a big news break. Nothing really happened. A couple stocks moved. Um, but yeah, overall, indexes waiting for today. Right? So, good morning. Let me just shut my phone off here. I don't need to hear that. All right, so let's just get into this real quick. My name is Steven Gonzalez. Welcome to my channel. I provide insights on the market with some news. I use volume profile, market profile to map out scenarios, what could happen in the market, along with supply and demand zones and gamma exposure levels. And then we come up with game plans. Um, so that's pretty much what you get from this channel. Try to give an overall scope of what's going on in the markets. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter, Gonzo719 Jersey, as well as on Instagram at Gonzo's. Sorry, that Gonzo719 Jersey's Instagram. Gonzo719 is Twitter, right? And of course, trying to build this channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. That would help me out. Set an alert would be great. Of course, a like always is appreciated. All right. Let's get right into this watch list. A little bit's been happened. I mean, it didn't go fully dark here. Let's just go over. We got 8:30. We will concentrate on the charts. I didn't even do much charting this morning because it kind of goes out the window when supply and demand is very close to price. It just gets blown out of the water. So VIX is elevated, which is expected a little bit. It's almost up 1%. Bonds being bought. Okay, that should send the 10-year yield lower a little bit. Dollars up slightly. Ether's up slightly. Russell's basically slightly up 0.08. Bitcoin's flat. 10-year yield doesn't report to 820. Nasdaq is flat. ES is flat. The Dow. So they were down before. So now they just kind of made a little bit of a comeback. So Dow is basically flat. Right. Gold is down 0.39. It's still above 2K. Silver is down 0.44. Crude's getting hurt. It was down earlier before a full percentage, but now it's down 0.76, down 56 cents a barrel. All right, what else we got here? So let's look at leaders and laggards. Meta. Meta is a little bit of a leader, up 0.65. AMD, Google, some news with Google. They're trying to strengthen their AI to compete with Microsoft. And any laggards here? Let's see here. Baba. I saw Baba got its price lowered. Nvidia got a price raise by Truist Bank to I think 3 something. Coin is down 0.68. It was down more before. Okay, let's move on. Walmart was up 0.41. That's really the only necessary leader, not that by much. Okay. We got Exxon down a little. Home Depot's down 0.52. And then the big loser is Roblox. I believe they reported earnings. Or set to report. Yeah, they reported earnings. Let's see. Estimated a 41 loss. Oh, they did not beat earnings. They missed. So they're down 8.26%. Okay. I'm sure that news came out. So they're down. Let's go to sectors. Communications. I guess a little bit of a leader, but not really. And energy bottoming out. Right? Alright, so that's pretty much that. We can move over to daily charts. Actually, let's go over to. There's not a lot of news. You know what? There's really not much. I mean, of course, we have CPI that's coming at 8:30. We will go look back at that. One thing I would like to just point out is the Fed target rate, which has been changing. Okay. So earlier, this was at like almost zero. Okay. And this was at like 100. 100 is like this right here is a pause. But now look at that. It's 19% chance of another hike. Very interesting, right? And today this should change if the CPI comes in hotter. This should move because the Fed's saying that they're data dependent, and if they won't just pause if it's not warranted yet. So very interesting there. Okay. What else we got? Obviously, debt ceilings and news. Um, See, there's the news I wanted to tell you guys about. Is Google expected to unveil answer to Microsoft's AI search challenge? And then let's see, EA did decent. Rivian beat. Toyota gave good guidance. Um, there's not much. I'm trying to see what else I saw that was to note. Airbnb, I think, didn't give such good guidance. They guys got a downgrade. Yeah, that's really all I wanted to show there. Of course, we have the economic data. We're waiting on that for 8:30, and we'll look at the future charts together for that. Let's move over to the daily charts. All right. So, I mean, yesterday was kind of a nothing day. I mean, the range in the SPY was $1.40. I mean, that is nothing. So, we're just waiting in the middle of this big range. Notice that in this big range, we're in the middle of it, right? So, if I go to the blind profile, I'm assuming we're going to be in the middle of it. Yep, right here. Which way are we going to go today, right? So pretty much nothing day. Sitting on these moving averages, but not much to read into. Yesterday's price action was just waiting for today. Okay. You can see the weeklies holding that 10-week EMA. Monthly, pretty much got 2 equal months here so far. That's what we're looking at. Okay. Let's move on to the Qs. So the Qs pretty much held prior day's lows right here, right? So you got kind of a weak low here, 2 equal lows, right? Let's go on. Let's look at the. Now remember, this profile has a bullish imbalance. You can see it, a lot of volume at the top and excess at the bottom. So this is prime for a breakout to the upside, but who knows? Okay, that's just how that's looking. Let's look at the weeklies. So this weeklies, these were pretty a decent range for 3 weeks. Then you rocketed off this 10-week EMA, had more excess here last week, and then wow, we're inside last week. Monthly, big candle up, and we're kind of holding that. See, that's basically the profile. Big candle up, holding the value up higher. You can see it in the monthlies. Okay. But we have to see, right? Dow. Let's go to the Dow. All right, Dow's holding this most traded price of the year. Okay. So the Dow had a lot of weakness with financials. Made a comeback yesterday. Doji. Right. Basically inside the day before, and we're just waiting. We got the 50-day moving average here, the 20-day simple moving average above, the 80 MA daily right there. So let's go to the weeklies. You can just see the buying excess. It's got hit. This is financials. Gets hit, gets bought up, right? Can't close below this 10-week EMA. And look at that 10-week EMA has been support this week. Let's go to the monthly. Monthly, basically, there's last month. This is this month. This month broke last month's lows, but then we're pretty much now inside last month. There's the profile, very balanced. Very balanced. Okay, move on. Russell. 4 minutes to the news drops. Okay, here's the Russell, the weakest of the bunch. Now this is the most traded price right here, 173 of the year. Let's go from this move down. Big move down. We're holding value lower. Okay, we have a range right here we're in for the Russell. So the Russell had pretty much a nothing day as well. Closed right here. Okay, below all the major moving averages. Okay, from this initial move down, big move down, we have not retraced even over the 38.2 Fibonacci. We have not been able to break that, right? Let's look at the weeklies. Weeklies are in this range. You can see it 179.10 down to 171.23 and a couple moves down lower. All right, let's look at the monthlies. Look at that, just a straight shot down each month. Very different story in the Russell, right? That's the regional banks. Let's look at the profile. Well, the profile is about to move this most traded price of the month to here, to 173. So you had a nice distribution up here. All right, see all these weeks, right? Like these weeks, holding value up here, and then boom, got crushed, and now we're balancing here. So that's what's going on in the Russell. We got 3 minutes to the news drops. We can move on. We can very quickly check out that triple-headed monster before we look at the news. Let's do that. Bond market's very undecided lately. Look at that, 3 days in a row of no movement. It tells you all you want to see. Let's go to the VIX. The VIX is kind of in the range as well. Right at this key level, we keep talking about the 1793. You go higher up to here, possibly today you get some movement down. You go lower, obviously you get some movement up. We got that dollar. Dollar's making a bouncing off the support of 101.42. Can it break out and go to 102? Don't know. I have to keep an eye on that. Okay. So let's go get ready for this news. I'm going to give you my ES hourly chart here. Right here. And we'll await this news that's going to drop in less than a minute. And I'll get over to the numbers. Alright, what are we looking at today? Year over year, the forecast is for 5.6. Okay. Previous was 5.6. Okay. That's core inflation. So inflation forecasted for 4.9. Previous was 5. Inflation rate month over month forecast is for 0.3, and the prior was 0.1. So looking for a rise. So should be interesting. Oh, here we go. Okay. Really not staggering numbers. So we're getting a push higher here. All right, let's look at the results here. So you got core inflation year over year was 5.5. The forecast was 5.6, so it went down 0.1. Inflation rate year over year forecast at 4.9, actual 4.9. And the inflation rate month over month was forecast at 0.3. It was actually 0.4, so that was higher. And then core inflation month over month was forecasted at 0.3, and that went higher. But the consensus was as expected. Consensus as expected. Consensus as expected. So the average kind of hit the numbers. This has changed. Core inflation rate year over year 5.5. Consensus 5.5. So we're getting a push right now in the markets. Right into a supply. Right as that goes into supply, you're catching a little bit of a wick there. And we're right at the most traded price of the year. I mean, you can't get any more of a spot than that. So you can see right here, 41.49.25 is the most traded price of the year. You can see the volume right here. That's the most traded price of this year. I'll give you an 8-hour candle to show you the sheer, how magnetic that price is. And now keep in mind that green profile on the side is this year. These are 8-hour candles, okay? So that whole green profile is this year. So that's all of this year. From here, this candle. Let me just make sure that I'm not lying to you. Start date, yep. Let's see what that is. Let's get more of that in there. Yeah, this is basically the start of the year right down here, right around here. Right about there. That's the whole year so far. And where are we at? Right there. 41.47. The most traded price of the year is 41.49. Can't make that stuff up, right? So I'll bring it back down to hourly candle. Right there. Crazy. And if you break out above this 41.64, then you got a clear shot back up to about 41.80. But see how this is acting as resistance, right? Because nothing really with these numbers showed much of anything. All it showed was inflation sticky. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq. Let's see what that's doing. Interesting. Nasdaq has a bigger wick. And see the supply zone in here? As soon as it came in, it wicked right out of it. And the Nasdaq. Big resistance level here. 133.58. Every time it's come in here, it's gotten sold. But that's the big move to the upside. If you break that, that's a nice move to the upside in the Nasdaq. So you had supply here. That's why I didn't even draw it. See, this was a supply zone right here. It just got crushed. So this is the most traded price of the week, right? So if we just go to 4-hour candles on the Nasdaq, remember that green profile is this year. You can see right here, this is the most traded price of the year, 130.81. Okay. So that's most of this year, how that profile looks. Okay. Most traded price of the year, 130.81. Right, so we're above that. Remember, like I said, this is a huge area to break out of. I mean, look at that. Resistance, resistance, resistance. We're in an uptrend from here, right? So if we go back to hourlies, right, you can see that this right here, let's see if that lines up. Let's see this right here. Not really starting anything, but I thought that might have been a good trend, but it's not. But still, right, this could turn out to be a nothing burger. The news isn't earth shattering either way, but it still shows that inflation's sticky. So this could all be a push up that gets destroyed later. So you do have on this now, and you're getting more of a wick now on the ES, but you do have demand right here now. So might as well plot that out. Probably have 4-hour demand right there. Yeah, right there. Let's see if we can get a better one here on a 3-hour. No, maybe 2-hour. Yep. So right here, it's a nice little demand zone that we'll plot out here. Right there. We'll set an alert. Always set repeatable alerts. So that's the start of the CPI print. Boom. They call that the scene of the crime. All right, so no surprise getting resistance here, right? So basically, we got our levels really to be any kind of change. 41.64 in the ES, right? And then 133.58 is that resistance in the Nasdaq. So that's really, you know, this doesn't bode like anything right now because you're just coming up to the ES into the most sticky area you can get, and it's getting resistance. Okay, this could all be for nothing where these buyers could get trapped and we could take this out. I don't know if that happens. I'm just saying that it's setting almost up like that because it made a big move, but this area supply, and the most traded price of the year. Okay. So now let's just go to the watch list here. Let's see what this, how this has changed here. Let's see. So Nasdaq's, everything's pretty much green. 10-year yield is down. The VIX is down. Gold up. 2054. Wow. Bonds are being bought, 30-year bonds. Silver skyrocketing to 26. Very interesting. The dollar slightly down. Okay. Let's look at the stocks I like to day trade. We got Tesla's leading the pack, up 1.52%, followed by Amazon, followed by AMD, Meta, Coin, right? There's not a negative stock on the board except Baba, but it's barely negative, right? Now, wow, I just noticed something. All right, now we're catching some more bidding. We're catching more of a bid. I'm hearing in the market, hearing some large orders hit the tape. But check this out. Roblox is now up. It was down 8%. It's the leader pre-market in my top sector stock watch list. Well, it just was. Ooh, look at that, freaking flying all over the place. All right. So now let's make it a move. Okay. Now we have to see if we can break this. This is very key. All right. You can see the ES now is passing this. Remember this 4164. If this makes the move and breaks out of that, this is going to cause short covering. A lot of short covering here. It's because you have shorts from here, 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 all of this. Now again, this can all be a trap, but you just don't know. We're in supply. Can we break out of this right now? We just broke out of that supply. Now we're going to hit that resistance level that I talked about. So can we break this level? That would make us fill a gap. There's a gap. This blue box right here is a gap. That's the next destination, is this gap fill. So getting a little bit of a resistance there, see? People probably took profit there. That's very key for the market right now. All right, see, more profit being taken. So let's see what the Nasdaq is doing at that key resistance level. Wow. Okay, check the Nasdaq out. It broke that level. So we broke that key resistance in the Nasdaq. Okay, can it hold? We have supply ahead. So we got supply, big supply zone ahead, huge. Okay, now can this hold? That is the key. Can this hold? Now I'm going to say if it holds up here pre-market and we can come back and test this and the market gets strong, that is a nice, the market could hit this and just take off to this supply. Now, if this is a failure, okay, you got to go with the other side too. If this is a big failure, this is an overreaction, and we open up and we start coming back into range, well, guess what? All these longs are going to take profit, and we could eventually go back down to the start of this move, and it could start a cascading fall. But if we hold here and do this, test it, hold it, that could make the market go higher. So very pivotal levels right now. You see in both markets, right? So Very key levels that we're in right now. Can it hold? Now, just to show you real quickly the single prints that this is making. So this is the ES. This is right here. Look at all that buying there. That's all single prints. Here's the NASDAQ. All single prints. Can that hold? Remember, that's not a lot of support there. Is this market really believing that these numbers are for real? We really gotta see if the market really believes this is real, because the numbers aren't significantly bullish. Now here's that level, right? 133.58. We start dipping back. Like I said, you can easily take out these single prints. That's really the barometer today. So we're dipping below the ES level here. Very crucial part in the market right now. Can it hold? Let's move on to give me one sec. I'll give you this. I'm gonna look at this. We can look at this in a broader view. You can see the single prints. We can see the structure over the last couple days. There's that level. Like I said, if this market could hold here, we could see this gap up here. We can look at this. These are just profiles for every day. Now, I can move this down so I can show you guys here. So this is the gap right here. This gap that's in blue. That was where, right now ES is at 41.66. It's right about here. Right here right now. So it definitely can move up and try to fill this gap today. And there's a supply zone right there. And the NASDAQ, I don't think we have a gap overhead of us. We don't. Not like the ES. Okay. And the NASDAQ's at 133.88. 133.88. It's about right here right now. And let's look at long-term chart. So here's the ES. Okay, you can just see the balance we've been in. Okay, remember every blue profile is a weekly. So look, there's 1 week. There's a higher low, a higher low, a higher low, right? But then we came right back down, broke that 2 weeks in a row made lows here. 2 weeks in a row made highs here and here. And this is this week. And just look at this volume here. Most traded price, right, of this year. 41.52. And the most traded price, right? And the most traded price of the most traded price of this year is here, right? But the most traded price of a year ago is down here at 40.23. And we're just in this area. So most likely first stop in the ES is most likely going to probably be at the top of this range. Okay, which will be around, let's say 4,200. If that goes there, most likely first stop 4,200. Obviously, if it goes this way, most likely first stop around 40.67. Okay, let's look at the NASDAQ. You can just see the range, right? All the way here is our range. All the way here is the range. We dip below here for a second. Okay, but look at these weeklies. Here's a week low. Here's a week low. There's a dip down, but look at that next week. Right? And these white outlines are monthlies. So you got this month's low went all the way to this month's low to this month's low. So we're making higher lows in the monthlies. And look at the NASDAQ of the last 3 weeks. There's a low, higher low. And there's this week, higher low. So it's queuing up. Really queuing up for a move. It's just, can it break this, right? We're right here right now. Can it break that range? I'd say first stop is this large volume node here. That price is around 135.82. Okay. 135.82. And you can see the bullish imbalance in this year's profile. Look at this top of this profile. That is not a healthy profile. Okay, that is not a healthy profile. You need to see this excess to make a profile. That brings us to about 14,000. I'm not saying we go there, but I'm just saying, just look at the profile. It's just such a poor high. If it's repaired, it just goes right up to the top. Alright, let's move back to see what the ES is doing. We're still hanging around that resistance level. So I'm going to get rid of this supply zone. Get rid of this supply zone. Okay, so that's the ES. Let's see what the NASDAQ's doing. Get rid of this supply. Finally broke out of that. So we got those single prints. Those are looking mighty tasty. So that level's about here. And we're starting to get some selling a little bit now. So you got all that single prints. Okay. Right from where? Right from the most traded price of the week in the NASDAQ. See the NASDAQ right here? This box? That's 132.85. That's where the selling the buying all began. Okay. And the ES, it didn't, the buying right here really rocketed right there. Most traded price of the week is right here, and the most traded price of yesterday. So, boom. You went right through the most traded price of the year and the month. Okay. And now we're hanging out. 41.64. Can we get continuation? Can this do this and fill that gap? That's the question. If we do this, take these single prints, and we can cut through that most trader price, that's gonna go here most likely, and then down here. So let's just talk about a plan. All right. So now kind of settled in. The market likes whatever it likes. Doesn't matter what our opinions are. Really briefly, with the scenario that I could see, right, that I'm going to look for, is pretty simple. Right. Here's that level, 41.64. If we can hold and just keep building value out here, even if we dip below it a little bit, hold. Well, you got to start thinking long and start trying to think to fill that gap. Okay. Figure 41.80. That's what the market could do. Yeah, well, now these are big levels, right? It's a big level. So the other chance for the market is to then take some profit, these single prints. But then if this level starts to hold the market up, you could possibly see us move into here and then to here. Okay. Now we're looking at, what does the market do if it sells off? I'm hearing some large orders hitting the tape. I don't know if you guys hear that, but hear my alert. But now, if we push up like that and come back through the open, come back through this area here with some volume, real weakness in the market, well, you could take those single prints out. Now, this level off the open might not be as strong because it's so volatile. If that does cut through like this, like butter, we're going to clean all these single prints. Okay, and then we're going to go to the most traded price of the week. And then we'd have to see if the market holds this. If it doesn't, we're breaking, we're going down most likely. This demand zone's here, fine. But just the momentum, I believe, would take us down to yesterday's lows. And there's single prints from last week that we could cut through like butter. And then there's a gap down here. Okay. That's what I could see. I mean, if you do get that move, boy, that's going to be a move. That's going to be something. Okay. So something similar now in the Nasdaq's pretty much not going to be much different of how I'm going to use the levels. Okay. So let's do that. Let's look at the Nasdaq. We got that resistance level. Let me just put that on this chart real quick. Give me 1 second. I just want to have that on the chart so I can show you guys. Okay, now that I can put that level back on this chart, I just wanted to have that to look at. That's pretty much a strong, very strong level. All right, so let's talk about this. All right, let's go talk about that long, right? So, what does the Nasdaq need to prove? The strength, right? Can it provide strength? It just took out this level, which is big, but now you got to prove to us that you can hold it. So if it does, hold it, even dip a little bit, come back, hold it, make you move to 134. It's a huge supply zone up here. I think that would be a little bit of tough sledding. It would be tough sledding, I think. But you probably would make it move higher, though, obviously. Just because of the sheer shorts that were in that resistance level. Okay? Now, of course, you got all these single prints. they come right to this major level. So the other thing could happen is, okay, let's say the market does take these longs out, but it holds this major level. If it holds this major level, definitely can find some footing. You take out the liquidity from the shorts that just came up, and you go right back up to this level, and you could start making your move higher. Okay. As far as like some weakness, it's now that this level's starting to push higher. It's almost into the supply right now. So you're getting a real push right now. That's a real push I just got. Okay, and it didn't hit the supply yet, but it's almost going to. Now again, this is now even better for us short off the open, because if the market goes straight up, finds that weakness in the supply, well, the market could land here, okay, right at this resistance. And if it breaks it and holds, well, you're going down to these single prints to this major level. If there's a ton of weakness in the market, definitely can go down to these lows. There's single prints here. There's a monthly VWAP. And then the decision really is, if it's very weak, you're going back down here. Because you have to think, as violent as we moved up, is as violent as we can move down. So that's pretty much it. That's the plan for today. That's what I see. All right. I wish everybody good luck today. You gotta have some patience and really look at those levels that I talked about, because they're everything today. Let the market tell you a story. That's what I have to. I have like a little journal that I wrote, and a lot of times I have to put that. Let the market tell you the story. If the story is cloudy, you don't really have a clear story of what the market's doing, then you really don't have any type of trade to put on. But once that story starts to come about, right, then you start going, okay, I think this is what the market is telling me today. You want to position yourself for whatever you believe is going to happen, the most probable factor, right? So that's what I'm going to look at today. Now that I'm looking at some other stocks, Roblox is now up 1%. Okay. Salesforce, Qualcomm, all up 1%. Disney is reporting earnings, I believe, today after the close. Coin is now up 3%. Bitcoin's up 2%. Tesla's up 2%. Okay. AMD. A lot of these guys. Amazon. I mean, everything's pretty much up. Again, this could all be for naught. So I'm going to now go and do some pre-market stuff on my stocks to see what I really like. And again, yesterday, I apologize, I didn't do a midday update just because nothing really happened. Okay? Nothing really happened. So, as always, subscribe. It mean a lot to me. I'm trying to grow this channel, set an alert. Of course, as always, please always give me a like. That helps me out as well. And you guys already know my Instagram and my Twitter. And that's about it. And wish everybody good luck. Let's stay green today, and be patient. Okay, be very patient today. And today I probably most likely will do an update. Thanks, my man. I will do an update today, because today's obviously, you have to see what's going on today. There's a big thing that just happened, so I will give an update. Hopefully I have a trade to share with you as well. Yesterday I did do a long in Qs. It was profitable, like a 60% winner, but it wasn't that unbelievable. So I didn't really, that's not something but that's the trade I took yesterday. But oh, no problem. So yeah, we're almost to that supply, Nathan. that 134, that supply. Very curious what reaction we get when we land into that supply. It's a monster zone. But be prepared for that pullback to that 133.58 level. Be prepared for that pullback. So I think that's 323 in the Qs. But all right, everybody, have a great day, and you'll see a video from me later. All right, take it easy, everybody.